for Game 6 of the World Series next.
The time of the midnight sun has come when baseball's dog days die as October's nights come alive. Boys of summer salute the past and embrace the future with equal passion right here in fabled Yankee Stadium. It's a special time in a very special place, a place where legends live and where heroes are born with acts of bravery by the bat, where these modern men look to take their place where Ruth reigned relentlessly and Gehrig's ghost graces these sacred grounds. They say this is a series, but sir, what it really is a war. A war so grand it could only be named the World Series. And through the generations, in this war, the battle of Game 6 has always stood tall in baseball history. That Ruth built. Two teams, two fates, as they look to make their place in baseball history. The World Series continues on Fox.
It is quite simply the biggest game held here at Yankee Stadium in nearly 2 decades. With a 3-2 lead in the 1996 World Series, the Yankees need only one more win to claim their first title since 1978. Win or lose, it's already been a great day for Yankee manager Joe Torre. As you know, his brother Frank, a former Milwaukee Brave, yesterday received a heart transplant and will be watching Game 6 tonight from his New York hospital bed, 2.5 miles away from the stadium. With a full moon overhead and a full crowd inside, Yankees' rabid following gave a big Bronx cheer to Greg Maddux and the Atlanta Braves as they arrived at the house that Ruth built earlier today. Atlanta faces elimination, but takes solace in the fact that down 3-1 in the NLCS, the Braves rallied to beat the Cardinals. But they didn't have to do it here at Yankee Stadium. The house that Ruth built is ready to rock and roll. Tonight, it could be the World Championship for the Yankees, but they have to go through the defending champions, the Atlanta Braves, and their ace right-hander, Greg Maddux. It's Game 6 of the 1996 World Series here on Fox. Hello again, everybody, along with Dave Winfield and Steve Lyons. Welcome to Yankee Stadium for Game 6 of the 1996 World Series. What a difference a week can make. When we were last in New York, the Yankees were left for dead, down 2-0, then went down to Dixie, swept the Braves, come back home now, and they're on the brink of the championship, Stephen. Didn't you say, by the way, Braves in 6?
I sure did. And there's a lot of people right out here in this left field seats that are reminding me that I said Braves in 6 games. But I'll tell you, when you have guys like Leyritz and Wetland and guys like Strawberry playing with a broken foot, those guys are gamers, and they can turn things around for you. I'm not jumping ship. I still think the Braves are going to win it, but it's not as easy as it was.
Hey, look, when they invented this game 100+ years ago, one of the cardinal rules or cardinal sins was do not give the opposition more than 3 outs. The Atlanta Braves have violated that. They left the door open for the Yankees in the last 3 games. In fact, every time they made a miscue on the field, they left the door open for the Yankees to come back and score. And that's exactly what's put them in this precarious situation.
Well, here's what makes the game so much fun. Numbers can be deceiving. You look at the Braves on paper, you'd say, hey, they've dominated the Yankees in this World Series. But, hey, they've given the Yankees, Steve, a couple of games with big miscues in the field.
They really have. I mean, this is a team we all know about their pitching staff. They have to dominate ball games with pitching, sound defense, and execution. Here you see Marquise Grissom not executing a catch in center field. It's a tough situation. They don't have a real power for offense, so if they don't score a lot of runs, they have to execute, and they have not been doing that.
Hey, wouldn't it be ironic if Marquise Grissom and Jermaine Dye, these guys live together, they communicate every day, and they didn't on that play. And if they cost them a series, that'd be something. But on the other hand, Joe Torre said specifically to Bernie Williams in August, he said, you are a man, you are a leader, people look up to you, we want you to take charge. And that's exactly what Bernie Williams doing right here. And that's a perfect example.
Hey, it's amazing to me. Jermaine Dye actually said, hey, the crowd was too loud in my home ballpark in Atlanta for me to hear Marquise Grissom's call. If he thinks Atlanta's loud, he hadn't heard anything yet here in New York.
Yeah, well, we're sitting right out in the left field bleachers. We know how loud it is, and that's the problem. I mean, it is the World Series. You're going to get crowd noise from all angles, and when you have a situation like that, a center fielder has to have a verbal sign and a visual sign. We saw the verbal sign did not work for Marquise Grissom. We saw Bernie Williams come in, throw everyone else out of the way. When the center fielder says, I got it, you get out of the way, he's the one that has to catch the ball.
Yeah, it's amazing. The Braves have been shut out now over the last 14 innings of the 1996 World Series. And it's amazing, Steve, time and time again we talk about it. The inability to bunt in big situations has really hurt Atlanta.
Well, you think about it, too. Mark Lemke's the kind of guy you want to have in a bunt situation for the Braves if it comes up there. Generally, he will get that situation down. Here you have a game 5, 6th inning, guys on first and second with nobody out. Here he bunts a ball to the opposite side of the field. You're supposed to be bunting to the left side of the field. Cecil Fielder's right there ready to get going. Here's Charlie Hayes creeping in on the infield. He's ready for the bunt because he knows it should be bunted to him. He's the one that has to make the play. But instead, the pitch from Pettit, Lemke bunts the ball right back to Pettit. That's a mistake. You see Felder coming in here. You see the ball right back to Pettit. Because he's left-handed, he doesn't even have to spin and throw. He just waits for Charlie Hayes to get back to his home position. He throws over there, and Smoltz is out by a hair. If they don't get that play, it's bases loaded, nobody out. Of course, Chipper Jones comes up as the next hitter, bounces into a double play, and they're out of the inning. That's a lack of fundamentals, and the Braves can't do that.
Yeah, every time there's a seemingly inconsequential miscue, it always seems to open the door for the Yankees, gives them momentum, has enabled them to come back.
Yeah, you talk about momentum. The Jim Leyritz home run, certainly a huge play in this postseason and the World Series. I think the biggest play of the World Series might be the booted double play ground ball to Rafael Belliard. If he makes that play, Leyritz's home run might have been just a 2-run shot, and the Braves might have held on to win that ball game in Atlanta. So that's a big play not made by Rafael Belliard. It's something the Braves know they have to correct tonight in Game 6. Earlier, we talked to Braves third baseman Chipper Jones about the Braves' fielding adventures.
All right, Chipper, this is a team that relies heavily on their fundamentals and their pitching. Have your fundamentals let you guys down a little bit the last few games?
Well, I don't think you've seen us execute maybe a few bump plays like we did in the first couple of games, and it got us some much-needed runs early in the game. We've had a little trouble executing those plays, and bottom line is we just haven't got the clutch out or the clutch hit at the right time to break a game open, you know, for the last 2 or 3 games, and that's been the difference.
So Joe Torre and the New York Yankees try to take advantage of the Braves' miscues in the field, and what a ride it has been for the Yankee skipper. He tries to become the first native New Yorker to win a world championship with the Yankees. Dave Winfield will chat with Joe Torre when we come back to the World Series right after this. First world title since 1978. Well, it's not just the Braves and the Yankees battling here in the World Series. By extension, it's the managers, Bobby Cox and Joe Torre, battling it out. For more on the managerial chess match, let's join our trio upstairs of Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, and Bob Brenly. Hello, guys.
Hello, Chip. Thank you. Getting ready for Game 6 with my partners Bob Brenly and Tim McCarver. Well, a lot has happened on the field already in the first 5 games. A lot has happened in each dugout with each manager. And because of that, we thought we'd show you a couple of decisions, key decisions, each manager has had to make. Turn to Bob Brenly first. A big decision, really, for each manager came in Game 4.
Game 4 score tied 6-6 in the 10th inning. Runners at first and second. And Bobby Cox elected to walk Bernie Williams and load the bases. At this point, Joe Torre has only Wade Boggs left on his bench. Boggs pinch hits for Andy Fox, comes up, works a walk from Steve Avery. I believe this is a decision that both managers felt comfortable with. I think that Bobby Cox felt with Steve Avery on the mound, a left-hander against the left-hand hitting Boggs, that he had the advantage, plus it takes down the last position player. I think Joe Torre felt he had an advantage because Steve Avery had not pitched much in the series, and Boggs had the tremendous eye at the plate, and we all know he worked the walk, got the go-ahead run.
Yeah, which was a key win for the Yankees, but by far the biggest win for the Yankees came in Game 3. Down 2-0. Joe Torre went with his starter, David Cone.
And as far as I'm concerned, Joe, that was the turning point of the series. It was the 6th inning. The bases were loaded. The Yankees were up by 2, and David Cone had to face Fred McGriff, Ryan Klesko, and Javier Lopez. He wanted the truth from David Cone. David Cone telling us that what Joe Torre asked him simply was, you know the significance of this game, tell me the truth. He did. He allowed only 1 run, and of course the Yankees went on to win.
They went on to win that game. They went on to sweep in Atlanta, so they have a 3-2 edge with 1 to go, maybe 2 to go here at Yankee Stadium. Right now, let's go back down to Chip.
Okay, guys, from our trio upstairs to our trio out here in left field, Steve Lyons, Dave Winfield, and yours truly, Chip Carey. Dave, this is an amazing story, Joe Torre. The trials and tribulations of his family. He lost his brother Rocco during spring training, his brother Frank recuperating from heart transplant surgery, and for Joe Torre, 30-plus years in a baseball uniform, he's getting his first crack at a World Series this season.
Well, I've known Joe Torre a long time as a player, a broadcaster, and a manager. When he lost his job in St. Louis, he was heartbroken, but he got another chance here in New York. He got a chance to come back to his city. He got great players on the field. Now, it's been an emotional roller coaster ride, and you can see it in his face when
We're just about ready for Game 6 here from Yankee Stadium, and with the call tonight is our trio of Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, and Bob Brenly. Hello, guys.
Hello, Chip. All right, be honest. How many of you thought we'd be back here after the first 2 games at Yankee Stadium? Come on, be honest. Joe Buck along with Bob Brenly and Tim McCarver. The first 2 games did not go well for the Yankees here. Everybody wrote it's a mismatch. Well, in Atlanta, it was to a certain degree as the Yankees come away with 3 wins. What's going on with his team? They've won all 8 on the road in the postseason.
Well, maybe Andy Pettit, Joe, said it best. He said we get too hyped up when we play at Yankee Stadium. Maybe we better learn to tone it down, and perhaps they do. I mean, after all, they've played 14 postseason games. They're 2-4 at home and 8-0 on the road. And think of the 2 games that they've won at home. Second game of the divisional series against the Texas Rangers. Bottom of the 12th inning, first and second, nobody out, and they win the game. It was tied up to that point. They win it on a throwing error by Dean Palmer. Game 1 of the American League Championship Series, trailing 4-3. In the 8th inning, they need the assistance of 12-year-old Jeffrey Mayer to bend over, make the catch. It was ruled a home run, and Bernie Williams ends up winning the game in the 11th inning. As far as Greg Maddux is concerned tonight, Joe Torre telling his players, tone it down. Don't think. Use your instincts. Use your reactions. Don't try and outthink it.
And you can talk about the Yankees all you want, but the Atlanta Braves have to be thrilled that Greg Maddux is ready to pitch in tonight's game. And for the Yankees, Joe Torre has to be thrilled to be able to run a guy like Jimmy Key out there.
Well, actually, this is a rematch of Game 2 when Greg Maddux and John Smoltz, or rather Mark Wohlers, combined to shut down the Yankees. Excuse me. There's a key reason for that. If you look at these numbers right here, first pitch strikes. Greg Maddux, 24 first pitch strikes, pitching ahead in the count all night long. Jimmy Key falling behind in the count. Also, Jimmy Key gave up 3 leadoff hits to start innings. 2 of those guys scored. Greg Maddux gave up 1 leadoff hit. The next guy hit into a double play. We talked to Yankee catcher Joe Girardi and said, what are you going to do tonight with Jimmy Key? He said, we're going to do the same thing, only hopefully we'll do it a little better.
So here we are, Game 6 at Yankee Stadium, ready to go. Will there be a Game 7? We're about to find out. Good pitching matchup, the Yankees and the Atlanta Braves. Coming up after this from your local Fox station.